Okay, I'm here today with Amanda. Amanda, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Amanda, and I'm the founder of Awesome Women in Construction. I also have my own business, Amanda Bulow Consulting.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, we met a few years ago, and I know that you're a passionate advocate for mental health, so I'm really looking forward to just having a quick chat with you. First and foremost, the question that I ask everyone is, what is one mental health tactic that you yourself have used, when those times are a little bit challenging and our plates are a little bit full? What's one default tactic that you use to help keep yourself a little bit sane?
A little bit sane for me is simply, when it all just gets too much and the mouse doesn't work how it should be and the lid doesn't quite go on the pen how it's meant to be, is to simply just shut everything down. Shut the computer down, close the office door and just go into another room or go for, a walk. We're not talking about a marathon. We're just going out to get some fresh, having that circuit breaker. And sometimes 10 minutes is enough. 10 minutes is enough for us all to take that break and come back and, off we go again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a good tip. And it certainly gives your brain a little bit of a break.
It does, indeed.
Okay, so I was speaking to you before. This campaign, what we're trying to do is make sure that we spread a message of hope. So there's heaps of people right now that are in the Melbourne lockdowns, the Sydney lockdowns, Canberra, and some of them have been in lockdown for a while, And what I wanted to share is some messages of hope. So what's one message of hope that you think, now that you've overcome, certain challenges in your life, you now see that insight that you may not have seen earlier?
Wow. We've been fortunate in Queensland that we haven't had the lockdowns the other states have, but when they've come around, it's happened so quickly, and I think we just need to, sometimes we fight. We want to try and fight and go, no, you can't tell me what to do. But then, it's really just letting it happen and letting it be and acknowledge not forever. And, sometimes that's enough. But then the other thing is, do something that you love to do. What is something that you haven't done for a very long time that really, used to make you motivated or, made you smile, whether it's turning the radio up and dancing like no one's watching, or it might be getting into some craft, or, it might be calling those friends that you haven't had a chance to speak to for a long time. And now that we're in lockdown and we're in a position where we can't go anywhere, what better time than to reach out and let them know that you're thinking of you, and at the same time it's going to give you that interaction.
Yeah, for sure. And I know what you're saying is also really in line with the emotional intelligence theories, etc., right?
Yeah.
When we focus on joy, we will see, people shine, their laughter comes in, and it is hard to remember, but when we get really busy and we get caught up with things, sometimes those habits that we would do when we're in that state of joy drop off,
Yes.
So it certainly can support stronger resilience and support mental wellness. So thank you so much for sharing that one.
No worries.
My last question to you, you know that I'm a suicide prevention advocate, and so prevention. Just curious about your thoughts. Why do you think we need to be investing in mental health and not reacting to crisis?
I think it's all about, we definitely want to be knowing what our triggers may be. We want to be knowing what those, what is it that can put us into that spiral? Is it working too hard? Is it not having seen loved ones for a long time? Is it not having done something that is all about you? And it's not about being selfish. It's about making sure that you're happy and you're in a good headspace. Because if you're not, then you can't be there to support anybody else. And, for me, prevention is it's critical. It's no different than going to a naturopath or to, to acknowledge what it is that we need to do to fuel our bodies and our mind and do it, rather than continually, and I'm not necessarily the best at it, but I'm getting better, and not just keep pushing and and pushing ourselves until we hit that breaking point. You know, our body will give us little reminders when we're getting a little bit too over the top. And if we don't listen, she just takes us out. And, you know, for me, I've learnt the hard way a couple of times. Like I said, I'm practicing still, but I'm much better at listening to those signals. And, you know, if it means we go to bed at 6 o'clock at night, that's what it means. Or if it means we, you know, can have a lazy breakfast, really not get going on a Saturday morning till 10 o'clock, then that's okay too. And that, I think, is a big thing too, just to let ourselves do what we need to do to keep going.
Yeah, and what a very strong statement to end on. Yeah, I do very much agree. I know there's some data out there or scientific studies proving, you know, when we're working in that overtime space, or if we're in that treadmill of I'm too busy or responding fight or flight, you know, we're up to 3 times more likely to, you know, burn ourselves out on both ends of that candle. So do have to watch that for sure. Well, look, wonderful chatting to you today. Thank you so much for your insights, and I very much hope that there are some of our fans out there that could benefit from your words today.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ellie.